Welcome back. The fourth episode starts with a briefing on how to approach the attack against Steel Mountain and a series of personal complications for Elliot, as well as the introduction of a couple of more key characters. If you missed the last 3 videos on this playlist, you can click on the card to see the playlist from the start. Let's move on with the technical analysis of the episode. Steel Mountain, destroying Evil Corp's data backups on tape. They are tape backups. So the goal is to increase the temperature of the room or rooms to above 95 degrees Fahrenheit or 35 in Celsius if you're normal, and use Celsius and meters, and destroy them. I'm kidding. I love you American dudes. I wish I was born in America. My life would have been much... I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if I had been born in America, how things would have turned out. I mean, I'm single. Looking for a wife, a green card, wouldn't be that bad. I will use the imperial system, and I will never complain about it, okay? But get me a goth. A big titty goth girlfriend in America. Okay. Elliot shows the team that heat equals data destruction. I don't know what this was so hard to grasp for everybody else. Ooh, but that's a Raspberry Pi. I think I have the 4th one. It's a neat little modular computer you can connect to a small screen, to sensors. You can connect sensors, small screens, and so on. Elliot wants to hook it up to the HVAC system in Steel Mountain, which is the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system. This way, it can remotely change the temperature in the rooms using the Raspberry Pi as a VPN, that is creating a private network. It will then be able to access remotely from inside Steel Mountain, creating an asymmetric backdoor. A backdoor is simply a system access method. For example, by command injection or with a rootkit, you could access a system remotely. It's malware installed on a network device, as I've discussed at length in my courses, discounted until the end of the month, links in description, with coupons applied. Usually, if there's a backdoor in the system, anyone who finds it can use it at will. Asymmetric, because only whoever owns the key can access it. It's like if you find an open door in a facility, decide to install a lock, but only you have the key. Asymmetric comes from asymmetric cryptography, which requires a private and public key pair. Let's not go into the details. Let's just say that the backdoor will be available only after authentication, the heavy-duty kind of authentication mechanism. Ask Alice and Bob for further clarification on this. Maybe we'll do a video on this, but this is not a mathematics channel, so no thanks. They say, yeah, Raspberry Pi is alright. Fine, you wanna raise the temperature, but could actually putting the Raspberry behind a thermostat really work? They need to get to the most easily accessible thermostat, so they'll have to bypass the physical security of the facility. Leslie Romero brings up an important point. There are metal gates, armed guards, knock staff, closed-circuit cameras. I thought at first you could use drones that fly really low at night, or a silent remote-controlled car. Concentric reconnaissance is the first thing that comes to mind. You mount the Raspberry Pi on the drone or the remote-controlled car at the farthest point of one of the internal networks, and from there you pivot, meaning you jump from one network to the other, or from one device to another. But this is very incredibly slow, which is realistic. Or, Elliot says, all it takes is really just one security flaw. It's true, even when we talk about Servers. If any server exposes a vulnerable mail service or web server, you can get into the network anyway. It's really the same. A system is only as strong as its weakest link, like we say. There are companies and factories that still use Windows 3.1 to operate industrial machinery. I've seen it myself. If those are connected to the network, it's game over. Thus, Windows 3.1 have a TCP/IP software stack at all, you might ask. Yeah, but you have to install it though. It didn't come out of the box. This is crazy prehistoric stuff, I know. But someone asked about this. This episode is inspired by the real-life case of Stuxnet, where industrial machines were hacked by the usual suspects to sabotage a nuclear plant in Iran. You can read this up if you want to. Maybe we'll do a video on this. Right here, PLC systems. This is important. Keep this in mind. Romero says it'll be difficult, if not impossible. But Elliot replies that there are actually 6 vulnerabilities walking around. Alright, so he wants to go with social engineering. A set of techniques that exploit the inherent weakness of human nature, like trusting too much in one's perceptions or superficial first impressions. Imagine a person dressed up as a FedEx courier entering a company premises to deliver a package, with a package in his hand. No, not one you're thinking. If the company isn't very security aware, it could walk into an empty office, install malware on a PC, and infect the entire internal network, the intranet. The intranet, not internet, the intranet, internal network, with just a USB stick. In the meanwhile, morphine withdrawal symptoms make a comeback and Elliot starts having psychotic episodes that we're not interested in. Poor guy though. So he returns to the F Society HQ. Looks like Romero's found some issues after having done some reconnaissance. But Elliot remains optimistic. E-Corp is copying and shipping the analog backups, that is, the tapes, all over America. Elliot is a bit worried, so they will need to carry out the same attack 5 times at the same time, because once an attack succeeds, they would patch the vulnerabilities. Trust me, they really wouldn't. E-Corp is so incompetent, it isn't even funny. They wouldn't. So they will have to act fast. The backups are still all gathered in New York. They haven't started shipping them yet. And so they've already found PDFs with the building floor plans, network topologies. But Leslie, which is paranoid and likes busting everyone's balls, just shut up for a second, let people work. Leslie disagrees because they had been preparing another attack for months. The fact is, let's be clear, very competent people like Elliot are charismatic, and the guy thinks he's more competent than he actually is. In fact, he mentioned that Elliot just arrived and already wants to be in charge. That's what losers say usually. We don't know we'll get into Steel Mountain and risk his ass. But we know for a fact that it'll be Elliot. He's the leader. Those who are strong and conscientious naturally take up leadership positions. I'm talking about authentic leadership. Like guitarists, singers, because it's harder to sing and play, or even the drummer if they organize all of the gigs or bring girls to the venues. Yeah, competence, long work days, taking a bullet for your teammates. Yeah, that's what makes you a leader. So, Leslie, shut the fuck up and let Elliot work. If Leslie hadn't been so cowardly, he would have taken up the position himself, even though he's worried that with Elliot's drug problem, it might not work. Why am I hating on this guy so much? Yeah, because he's lying. I fucking hate liars. They intercept the frequency to unlock the car when it is locked remotely, and then they do a replay attack to open it. They connect the car to the laptop. In modern cars, there are memory addresses, each associated with an event like opening a door, starting the vehicle, and so on. Managing to do that so quickly, it's plausible if they did a bit of research on the car model, but in any case, it's fairly believable. You create a serial connection and then make calls. There's little research online, and I've never tinkered with a car myself. There's still little on Metasploit too. Oh god. Let's open up Metasploit. Here it is. Yeah, there are some posts because they take for granted that you already exploited the car. You already got into it. These are post modules. The thing about YouTube is that you say, hey, I don't know much about this thing, but I've done this much research. And people will comment, hey, you don't know what you're talking about. Dislike. Yeah, eat a dick. Maybe if someone gives me a Tesla for my birthday, we'll take a closer look in the future. What do you say about that? God, I love. Dude, I love shitting on trolls. I love it so much. You should ignore them. I just like shitting on trolls too much. So they take Elliot to recover by hacking a hotel room lock mechanism, hacking the RFID, what looks like a pen. I found this demonstration on YouTube. Yeah, these look like Arduino micros, nothing much, just programmable little computers, modular little computers that you can use, Arduinos, Raspberry Pis, with some way to tinker with RFID, nothing spectacularly difficult to pull off. But, you know, RFID these days, I guess just using a flippered 0 will be enough. Not much hacking from here on out, mostly Elliot trying to detox. Good luck, man. Angela takes the CD with the rootkit, intending to install it into Allsafe's network, as we saw in the previous episode. God, Ollie is such a dullard. Please don't leave me. I just cheated on you. A fucking idiot. Elliot continues his detox. On TV, there's the 1995 movie Hackers. Nice. Hack the Gibson. Hack the planet. There's mention of the need to coordinate with the Chinese Dark Army because there are other backup copies in China. This is only briefly mentioned in this episode for the first time, but it's very important. I think this is a narrative oversight, looking back. Darlene's ex-boyfriend from the Dark Army is called Cisco. He's the only Dark Army direct contact that F-Society has. She tells him to tell them to hurry up with the attack. The Dark Army has access to the tape backups in China, so they actually have access to Evil Corp's network in China, which F-Society cannot access from America, obviously. Or they would have told them to fuck off, I guess. They're more motivated by money than F-Society's ideology, but we'll see. Well, I finished watching the series, and the final answer is that White Rose fucking crazy. So Darlene tries to persuade him, and Angela installs the rootkit. All badge accesses are locked. The first time I saw this, I thought that Angela wasn't very smart. But if you look closely, she's actually logging in with Ollie's badge. LOL. All of that mess from the first episode to remove the goddamn rootkit from the network, from the eCorp network, and now Angela installs another one, giving the Dark Army access to AllSafe. Well, that's just fucking dandy. The malware is being installed. The classic Windows command prompt pops up. Launching commands. Great. I mean, this thing isn't very stealthy now, is it? It's launching commands, it's pretty obvious. It could be launched minimized, or even better, it could be completely invisible, just by using a binary file. They also made the indentation cute and nice to look at, so it's also easier to read what they're doing on the PC. Yeah, this is quite stupid. Elliot finally manages to detox from morphine. The Dark Army hacks into AllSafe and they prepare for the attack. In the next episode, Elliot will breach into the Evil Corp buildings. We'll see quite a bit of social engineering, but not just that. Much more stuff is coming. I hope you enjoyed the video and were able to follow it despite the noise of the vacuum cleaner while you watched. Next up, episode 5. And so we will have concluded the first half of the first season. So see you very, very soon. Ciao.